You know your best salesperson, the one who smashes every target? You're about to make them your sales manager. And I have to warn you though, it's possible in 6 months' time you have lost your best salesperson and gained a shit manager. So let's talk about why. Hello, my friend. You are listening to CEO Soapbox Podcast with Nida Farzad, episode number 6. I am so glad you could join me on my soapbox today because we need to have a serious chat about the single most common and most destructive mistake I see leaders make as they try to scale their business. It's a long-held belief in the corporate world, and unfortunately, some small, medium businesses follow as well. And today we're going to challenge it. I'm talking about automatically promoting your top performance into a management role. I know, it feels like a right thing to do. I get it. It feels like a reward for them. But more often than not, it's a catastrophe in slow motion. By end of this episode, you'll have a clear, actionable system to develop leaders and experts without destroying your best individual contributors, your A players. So let's start with some uncomfortable truth, the kind of stuff leaders only admit to themselves at 3 a.m. while staring at the ceiling. First, we all made that classic mistake, promoting a rock star employee into the management role only to watch them sink. Ouch. Second, we secretly use promotions. You know that, right? You've been doing it too. We secretly use promotions as a way to keep top performers around because, let's face it, we're out of ideas on how to reward them without slapping a fancy new title on their business card. Thirdly, we watch the productivity of an entire team drop after we install their former star player as their boss, creating resentment in some cases and confusion. And finally, this is my favorite, when it comes to grooming our next expert leader or our people managers, we have a very highly scientific process. We wing it. We just point to whoever's crushing the technical stuff or been around for a long time and say, "You, lead." What could possibly go wrong? It's a triple blow, my friend. You lose your best individual contributor, your A player. You gain a so-so manager, and you end up with a team that's completely checked out. Talk about shooting ourselves in the foot. I know the intention and thought is in the right place when we think that way. So what do we actually want is pretty straightforward. There are 3 things a leader wants. We want a way to reward and retain our A players, whether they want to lead people or master their craft. Second, we want a bench of confident, competent managers and a bench of world-class experts who actually love their chosen path and are great at it. We also want a culture where both individual mastery and people leadership are equally valued, developed, and compensated. This brings me to my thought on the outdated business lessons we've been taught. And it gives me an eye twitch how some leaders are still following the old ways. And here's my opinion about this. I better say it up front. Promoting a top performer into management isn't a reward. It's an act of organizational negligence. Pushing an expert into a management box without checking if they want deeper responsibility is just as risky. You are changing people's careers without checking if they have the desire to do the new job. So let's break this wide open because I love doing that. So, I do say a lot of so, by the way. The skills that make someone a brilliant coder, a sales superstar, or a creative whiz are rarely the same as those needed to lead a team or to step into the highest level of independent expert work. Being a great performer is about your output. Being a great manager is about output of the team. And being a top-level expert is about vision, mentorship, and technical depth. These are different mindsets, different jobs, equally crucial, but require different readiness and support. When we as leaders fail to see this, we make some predictable mistakes in our businesses. The common mistake, using a title as the only prize. You give your best engineer the engineer manager title, which might mean managing people when they just want to code. Or you push your top expert into deep technical roles when they are ready to try their hand at the management level. The consequence of this is frustration, burnout, lost productivity, and people quietly update their LinkedIn and start leaving. Another one of my favorite classic fuck-ups is the player-coach trap in business. This is where you take a high-performance employee, dangle a shiny manager title in front of them despite their total lack of interest in managing people, and you burden them with 2 jobs for the price of 1. It's the perfect recipe for diluting their expertise and ensuring maximum misery for everyone involved in the team. So what's the shift? I want you to get rid of the single growth corporate ladder strategy that's been around for so long. Out with the old, in with the dual track career framework. What is it? Here's what it looks like. 2 clear parallel paths for growth in your business. So one is called the expert career growth ladder. This is for your exceptional individual contributors. They climb by deepening their mastery, sharing knowledge, leading by technical example, and driving strategic innovation. They are recognized with senior titles and bigger projects, not just more admin. Then you have next to it the management career growth ladder, which has been around for a long time. This is for those who genuinely want to lead people. Coaching, removing roadblocks, building cultures, multiplying talent around them, performance reviews, all of that comes with the management. Crucially though, one thing you got to remember, for both of these growth ladders, compensation and respect must be equal at the top for both of them. Your top expert should be able to make as much, not even more, than a top manager in their level. There is no pay penalty for choosing mastery over management. So what actually makes this work, you ask? I'm going to share the steps and tools you need for both ladders that I use in my own businesses and my departments, and I help clients to implement. Ready? Number 1, you need to create a readiness checklist for both growth ladders. We want to stop guessing in either of those growth ladders. So for the management growth ladder, look for signals like, do they mentor colleagues or support junior staff without needing to be asked? When a project derails, do they help facilitate solution or just look for someone to sort it out? Do they volunteer for those thankless tasks, step up for the team, or offer support at the crunch time? Do they show empathy and genuinely listen? For expert growth ladder, the checklist should focus on technical vision and sharing. For example, we want to see, do they consistently raise the bar for their technical work or innovation? Are they proactive about sharing insight, mentoring their peers, or developing new methods in their fields? Do they own outcomes, not just individual tasks, on mission critical work? Can they translate complex ideas for less experienced colleagues? This is very important. Secondly, we've done our checklist. Second, we need to establish a 90-day trial period before any full promotion. So this applies to both growth ladders. For management frame, I want you to frame it openly. You can say, let's try this for this quarter. At the end, we both decide if this is a right fit for you. If it's not, you return to your previous role, no stigma, no judgment. If it is, we'll have a plan. For the expert, 90 days trial could be stepping into the larger projects or new cross-functional leadership or a bigger account and we'll trial it. You can say, take on X flagship project or X initiative for 3 months. Let's review how it feels on both sides. One big thing you've got to remember, and I have to repeat this, is to give everyone an exit ramp and reduce the risk of missteps. This is so important. Okay, so we've got number 1, which is a checklist. We have number 2, which is a 90-day trial period. I'm going to tell you number 3. Stop assuming, this is a big one, people know how to do their new job, management or advanced expert role. For both, you must get ready to provide role-specific coaching and training. That's the number 3. For managers, the training and coaching could be how to give feedback, delegation, how to have tough conversations. For expert, the training and coaching could be advanced problem solving, cross-team influence, and the simplest one is how to present. Finally, the 4th one is I want you to implement structured feedback loops for both tracks. What I mean by that is for managers' growth ladder after their 90-day trial, you have to have a skip level session. So your senior leader, their leader, or if you're their leader, you meet after the 90 days with the manager's direct report, without the manager in the room. And then you will ask, or the senior leader will ask, what is it like working under Sarah's leadership? Where could she level up? And for the experts, run a peer review session or project look back with people who collaborated across the company with this person. Let's call him Alex. You can ask, how did Alex's leadership on that project make a difference? What would you wish was different? Fast, honest feedback for both growth ladders. So you must be thinking, well, I like the idea and I can do it in my department, or I want to do it in my business, but how do you get all this started without turning the place upside down? I've got you covered. I'm going to give you 3 months plan. You can make it longer if you want to, but this is the 3 months plan that I share that I've used as well. Month 1 is the hardest. You got to map out both career growth ladders side by side, expert and manager. You've got to define levels for each. Depending on the size of your business or department, you can have 2 to 3, nothing more. Then next to it, build those readiness checklists for both growth ladders. In the month 2, you need to identify your high potential people. Sit down one-on-one and introduce the 2 career growth ladders. Ask which of these paths lights you up most, leadership or mastery. Please don't assume. Then announce in that second month, I want you to announce the dual track growth ladder philosophy to everyone in the business. Make it crystal clear both are prestigious. You got to remember, because there's some people go for the manager role for the name and the pay. You've got to make sure you remind everyone both are valued, both lead to recognition and reward. Then we move to the month 3. For everyone stepping into a new level, no matter what track, which ladder, you've got to activate their 90-day trial. And you need to kick off the tailored training and feedback sessions for them. You cannot just give them the role and say, go for it. There is no such a thing. Good leadership, we don't have sink and swim. And to be honest with you, when I've seen it with businesses and companies and departments nail this, it's not just about lowering management turnover. They create a space where top talent and leaders actually want to stay. And the result? Higher engagement, because people can see real opportunities to grow their skills or leadership abilities without being boxed into something they hate and making them miserable. All right, then, before we wrap this up, let's go over the main takeaway. First, promotions. I want you to remember promotion aren't just about moving up. They're about moving into the right role. Being a great manager and being a great expert are two distinct jobs, and each demands unique skills, genuine motivation, and strong support to succeed. Second, I want you to build a dual track career framework. Trust me, it works. Make it prestigious and lucrative for them to be an expert, not just a manager. Third, use readiness checklists and trial periods for both growth ladders. You want the right person in the right seat every time. Fourth takeaway, offer ongoing coaching and honest feedback to grow in either of career growth ladders, not just management. And finally, promoting someone to manager or expert who doesn't want it or isn't ready is not a reward. It's a problem for them, the team, and you. Build a system that values badass managers and badass specialists. That's true leadership. Thank you for getting on my soapbox with me today. We made it. If any of these hit home, please subscribe and share. If you want to continue the conversation or call me out on something, I'd love to connect with you. You can find me on LinkedIn. Just search for Neda Farzad. That's NEDA FARZAD. Or connect with me on Instagram and Facebook under Neda Farzad Official. And make sure you tune in next week. We'll be tackling a personal one, and that's work-life balance is a myth for ambitious people. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.